Delaware in the building. Y'all ain't ready for the Delaware takeover. Y'all not ready for this unique style and creativity that everybody in the world wants to see. Nas and Jay is bringing it, and everything they bring got that Delaware swag.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
I think you recognize where we are because we've been here before.
We're back.
And this is honestly one of the more beautiful spaces in the city. I mean, this studio is fantastic.
It's poppin'.
I mean, I should give you the honors of doing the introduction because you guys have such a chemistry.
Hey.
Well, as you can see, last week I got to delve into a few different languages, so I've got to roll my R's a little bit better.
She's ready.
Go ahead, do it right now. Go ahead, roll your R. Roll your R, Naj. No, give it.
Amazing. She did that.
That's a real friend right there.
That was incredible.
No, that's a real friend right there.
Today, we have the honor of interviewing again our sister girl, Kariann Otaño.
Hello, babies.
And her beautiful husband, Dane Suarez.
That's right.
You heard that?
You did
You
it.
heard that? Suarez. Hello.
Hello, gorgeous. I'm so happy to have y'all back in our space.
We
Yes.
love being here, 100%.
Yes.
So
I'm thrilled.
we kind of have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
We're going to start, and we heard you saying earlier, this has kind of been like a catchword for Opera Delaware, but the whole micro thing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So jump right in. What
Yes.
is coming up?
So you know this, with opera companies across the country, with arts organizations, typically they'll have like a gala. One time a year, tickets are $500, $1,000, it's wild. And you're stuck in a room with a bunch of people you don't get to spend any time with, eating like mediocre shrimp cocktail, you know the vibe, wearing clothes that you're uncomfortable in. That's not for me anymore, okay? So at Opera Delaware, we do these things called micro galas, where we have little like 2-hour parties. Our first one is going to be the Meet the Artist Micro Gala.
Oh, the first one hasn't happened yet. I
Oh,
didn't realize
it's
that.
coming up. It's coming up.
I
So
didn't know that.
it's a fresh
Okay.
year. We did a couple of these last year, but for
Yeah.
the new season, we're kicking it off with our Meet the Artist Micro Gala on September 29th. Now, the rules of a micro gala are simple. You dress to impress. You wear what you want to be seen in. You wear something that makes you feel dope and fly in beautiful. For example, literally everything we are wearing tonight.
This will be one of the few times that you ever see me in an ascot, but I was like, if we're going to do it, let just go all the way over the top.
We love to see
And
it.
this is just the beginning, but continue. You know?
You gotta wear what makes you proud. I mean,
Yes.
honestly, how often in life do you get to wear an ascot?
Right.
How often in life do you get to throw on a ball gown? Like,
Right.
we don't have these opportunities, and so take it and seize it and wear
Yes.
something that makes you feel fabulous.
Yes.
So our Meet the Artist Micro Gala is September 29th. It's here at the Opera Delaware Studios.
Nice.
And it's being sponsored and catered by this restaurant called Hamilton's on Main that's in Newark, Delaware.
Okay.
It's gorgeous in there.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I haven't
The
been there. No, you
vibe-
have? I
Haven't been in there?
No.
Oh,
no.
it's cool. I mean, I didn't buy anything, but
She said I used the bathroom, and I was like, this is choice.
I have never had
and that
such
menu.
a...
Listen, when the chairs is nice,
You know the restaurant's nice, girl.
I do judge places based on their bathrooms, though. You
I'm
know what I'm
saying.
saying?
And they have amazing
Okay.
bathrooms.
So there you go.
These ones are slamming. So they're coming up here and they are catering and hosting this event for us. We have a VIP event that starts at 6. That's going to be upstairs, fancy spread by Hamilton's on Main, free champagne. And then we're having a performance down here that starts at 7 with general admission. And at the performance, we're going to have our artists for Rigoletto. We're going to give you a little behind the scenes look. You're going to learn more about the cast. You're going to hear some excerpts of the show. It's all geared to make you feel more comfortable about coming to opening night, which I know I'm going to see y'all at opening
listen.
night.
New
She's
gown
got-
and everything.
We were just saying I actually really need to reinvest in more formal wear because the stuff that I had is kind of worn out and janky.
Kind of,
So,
and kind of janky.
but
Hey.
at least I can roll my R's. But
We all have our strengths, you know? It takes a village.
Right. We'll get you together.
So Dane is actually one of the stars of our upcoming production of Rigoletto.
I love it.
My sweet husband, we just celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary this past weekend.
Thank you so much.
We actually went to Hamilton's on Main to celebrate and have a beautiful dinner. The chef put together an incredible menu for us. Become friends with people who own restaurants.
Yes.
Highly recommend.
Top part.
Highly recommend. But Dane is going to be one of the stars of Rigoletto. And I'm going to tell you, as much as this is the sweetest, nicest man that I've ever met in my life, he is playing an absolute a-hole. He's the villain in Rigoletto. He is a scheming, self-centered, conceited, not
Normal
him.
everyday guy.
Not him. Yes.
Typical opera singer.
Just channeling truth.
No, honestly, his power is in his charm. So like,
very charming.
so people love to love him, but also he just does whatever he wants because he's the Duke.
Oh, he's an F-boy.
Yep.
Yes, very
Yeah.
that. Very that. So it's interesting because I want people to recognize in the different characters in the show, even though this opera takes place hundreds of years ago, we all know a boy like that, don't we? We all know a girl who falls for a boy like that, despite the fact that everybody around her is saying that's a clown. Right?
Yep.
Sis,
Like
don't
we
do it.
recognize these stories.
Right.
So,
Right.
so the opening night micro gala, the Meet the Artist micro gala, all of these are opportunities to kind of demystify and make this art form more approachable.
Yeah.
But also for you to meet the like really dope people who are going to be telling you these stories.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's also a really good opera to start with because it's one that everyone will recognize at least something
will
from,
recognize the music.
and it'll pull you in from that side. So that's a good
That's
call.
absolutely true.
Did you choose this part specifically, or did they say, we want you to do it?
Yeah, they cast me in the role.
Okay. And have you done it before?
This is my third time doing it, but I haven't sung it in like 10 years. So I'm really excited to like come back to it now.
Okay.
It's more life experiences.
Okay, you got some things. He been through some things.
That's it.
He's gonna be a real asshole. You know what I'm saying?
He said, you just wait till
But isn't that amazing? Like when you come back to music, we were talking about
Yes.
songs and stuff, whether it's a whole show or just a single piece of music, how you see it and feel it at different points in your life totally changes the way that you present
Absolutely.
it, right?
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
So like what a 20-year-old little charming
Yes.
fuckboy, we're gonna call it what it is,
Okay.
versus a grown man. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see the difference in it.
Yeah.
I'm excited because, I'll be honest with you, I used to really like a bad boy, so like we'll just cosplay that like he's a bit of a bad boy.
That's great.
Shoot.
I can dig it.
You gotta, keep it fresh in the marriage.
Of course.
You know?
After 5 years, you damn
Hey,
straight.
I'm 10 deep in December.
10
so
deep, yes.
you know what I'm
Listen, that
saying?
ain't gonna tell me where that ass got. So you typically are not home because you're out performing all the time, right?
Yeah, I'm on the road a lot.
So you
Yeah.
tell the audience a little bit about that lifestyle and what you do to prepare and what drives your passion for it.
Yeah. Kariann and I are in a different place now, which is really wonderful, where we have a home base here in Wilmington, which has been really amazing for us. When Kariann was still performing full time, as was I, lots of time on the road, lots of time living out of suitcases, in hotel rooms, in other people's homes, which is part of the joy of it, but also a thing that like is really kind of hard.
Yeah.
So Kariann and I have gotten like really great at communication and realizing that there's little things that kind of make it all work because that part of life is a thing that you carry with you wherever you go, right?
Yeah.
So between that, like opera singers, we get cast in a role sometimes a short period before, but sometimes like a year or even a little bit further out than that. And we show up the first day knowing all of our music, being ready to go and on our feet, memorized.
In another language.
Performing.
2 hour, 3 hour opera.
Knowing what all the words mean in that language, knowing how to say all the words.
Knowing what
right.
everybody else is saying around you.
So it's a lot of work,
prep.
a lot of prep.
So wait, so I meant to ask you this the last time.
Do it.
You're singing in several different languages.
Yes.
Do you speak several different languages? Like, could you go from singing it and then being able to speak it?
So, in a way, I'm very good at Italian. I lived in Italy for a year. Dane also lived in Italy for a while. So Italian is the language that we do probably the most often.
Yeah, for sure.
The tricky thing is that our diction, our accents are very good because we learn so much about how to sound like we're saying the words correctly, right? So my French, for example, I'm not great at speaking French, but I have a very convincing French accent. And so when we went to France, When we went to France, Dane and I learned how to say, I'm so sorry, I'm from America, I don't speak very much French, but we said it in French, and they would start talking to us in this rapid French,
it,
like,
say it.
oh, you're so good at speaking French.
You gotta
You
say
learn quickly though, right?
Yes.
No,
Désolé.
You're talking. It was when we were in Germany.
Oh,
That's
Germany,
what it was.
You
too.
speak German?
You have
We went to Germany.
German, French, and Italian are the main ones.
French, German,
yeah.
And so we would learn to say these things just to be like, I'm so sorry, désolé. And they'd be like, oh, it's beautiful, your French is beautiful. That's all I know how to say. I'm so sorry.
So, from my end, right, I just basically quit because, you get trained to have a really good accent.
Yes. Right.
So, I look Spanish speaking. The worst mistakes I've ever made is like I'll go on 4th Street in Wilmington and try to speak some Spanish, and I'll say 3 words to ask for something with a really good accent, and they're like, well, why don't you just keep talking?
Keep going.
No, I don't know. I'm just trying to be gracious here, and now I'm locked, so I totally get it.
We gotta make this a goal for us, Jay. We gotta get good at Spanish. Because
I have no excuse.
If people are gonna keep thinking that we speak Spanish, we really gotta speak
And I
Spanish,
took
baby.
it for years, and I still.
Well, what about us?
Yeah, his last name is Suarez. Like, yes.
I also don't speak Spanish, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yes. But those good accents, we'll trick people with those.
Yeah.
So, when did you start your career in opera?
I started my career in opera actually when Kariann and I started dating.
Oh wow.
Okay, so let's do this. I'm glad you said that. How do we get
The
to
first note out of his mouth.
So I mean, we technically met in college.
Which is in Indiana.
Which is in Indiana.
Next to
And you know where that
Illinois.
is, right? Yeah.
Listen,
Huge.
geography, geometry, gastronomy. My girl's got it all. Okay.
Oh no.
Enterology, whatever.
So we met in college, and we were both in our college a cappella groups. We were both in charge of our college a cappella groups.
Okay.
Very
What year
cute.
was this?
2000.
No, what year in college?
We were seniors.
Okay.
We were seniors in college, and we met, and we were like kind of friends. We got along, but it wasn't until like 3 years later when
After
we were
grad school.
when we were at a program together in Sarasota, Florida, a 3-month program. They put you up in housing. You are like you're in these beautiful apartments. You're a bunch of reckless people in your mid-20s, just surviving on boxed wine.
I was about to say wine. Opera, box wine.
And you are singing your face off every day.
Sun up to sundown
You know we
and
don't use
past.
microphones,
Yeah.
so you're just like wailing. You're making art all the time. It's so thrilling. It's
Yeah.
exhausting, but it's so
Yeah.
fun. And it got to the point where, you know, I'm an extrovert. You know I love being around people. But it got to the point where I was like, Dane's the only person I can stand to be around.
Oh wow.
And I don't know why it still took me, and probably another week or two after that, to go, oh, I like him more than my boyfriend. Oh, I probably shouldn't have a boyfriend anymore. We were really, really good friends. We were so tight until this. I'm gonna tell the story, Dane, because I'm
Okay.
not sorry about
I'm
it.
ready. Jay, go get them chips. I need a snack for this.
Okay, here we go. It's our Daniel origin story.
I'm very ready for it. So I was sleeping in my little bed, like a sweet little baby angel. I hear pounding on my window. I hear, Kariann, 3 o'clock in the morning. Kariann. And I roll over. I roll my happy ass over and I go back to sleep because it's 3 in the morning.
Right.
You're not bother me. But the next day I tell everybody, y'all, Dane was trying to smash last night. Dane was banging on my window. Dane was trying to.
Was that
I love
the
that he's banging on the window
sneaky
too.
link back then?
That was a sneaky link. That was a sneaky link. What actually happened was Dane had locked himself out of his apartment and he was trying to sleep on my couch. But I played him. I told everybody all day. I was like, Dane was trying to get it. Dane's so into me. Ow.
Oh my God.
Then I text this sweet prince that night and I say, you want to make out? To which he goes, yeah, right now. I said, no, I'm just playing with you. I'm going to bed.
Playing with his
Because
feelings.
I don't know if you know this, but bullying is actually a sign of affection. And so I just
Wait,
bullied
wait,
this sweet
kindergarten.
boy. Yes, I basically pulled his pigtails for a couple of days.
They're good pigtails. So.
I mean, look at the hair.
It's a wig. It's a wig.
Until we got together. But you know what? My mom came to town. My mom saw it. I'll never forget that I was stuck in rehearsal for a whole day, and Dane ran into my mom at a coffee shop. and we were just friends, but he saw my mom and he goes, "Oh, you're Kariann's mom. Let me hang out with you. She's going to be stuck in rehearsal for a while." And he spent a couple hours with her, and she
showing off now.
Yup. And she said to me, "Will you please?" My mom is from Long Island, and I'm going to give you the accent. She goes,
Yes.
"Will you please stop fucking with these jabronis? Will you please date a nice boy like Dane?"
Yeah, jabroni. I haven't heard jabroni for years.
Bring it
my
back.
God.
Bring back jabroni. The people love it. So it was really like, I think that in this career, we have them showmances. You like meet someone and you get really intense, you're creating some art together and you like kind of fall in love and then that fades. Dane and I have been together now for 10 years, married for 5. The way that I think of us now is deeper than a partner, deeper than a husband and wife. Dane is like my witness through he's the only person who truly knows me and has seen everything that I've seen in this life. As much as we bounce from city to city, and as close as I feel with the two of you, we've known each other for such a brief amount of time, right? It's amazing to have somebody by your side who really knows you and really sees you, and it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing, 10 years.
Y'all so cute.
I love it. So I have a question, and we talked to you about this too, but you know, we're all relatively young. Still, not me. Y'all are still relatively young.
You're so young in that ascot.
Listen, I'm 46.
That's young. That's young. That's young.
But I'm always curious to know, like, for you, how has opera remained relevant for you? You know what I'm saying? And how do you keep it relevant for, you know, younger audiences? Because I know Opera Delaware is working on that a lot. So like, how does that happen for you, you know?
So I will honestly say that the past few years, I'm really realizing kind of my mission as an artist. I don't think that we really think about that as performers that often. I think we're like, where's the job? Where's the gig?
Yeah.
Where am I gonna like level up and do the next thing? And I don't think we take enough time considering what stories do I want to tell? What audiences am I trying to reach? And like truly, why am I doing this? It's not just for the applause, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I find relevance all the time. I think that like the power of opera is, it gets all the way inside of you. So there's passion involved with that. The stories that we're telling are real human stories that you can relate to. Everyone in the audience can find someone on stage that they relate to, or someone that they know, right? And so for me, I think like with all art, you go to a museum and you can go and you can check out from the oldest thing to the newest thing. There's something that you're going to connect with. You're going to have a different story than the person next to you, probably. So that's the cool thing about music, and the cool thing about, I think especially about opera, is that you and I could watch the same opera and see a different story, right?
Totally.
So
and then talk about it.
And
then connect.
Exactly.
And build relationships.
And so it's one of the things that I think is so gratifying is being able to tell a story in a way that somebody has some kind of an experience in the audience, and having those audience members come up to us, and so it's really amazing that we're going to get to know them at the Meet the Artist micro gala. That to be able to connect with somebody and have them tell you what that meant to them. Those are my favorite interactions.
What did you do, or what was your reaction when Kariann came to you and said, "I can't do this anymore"?
That's a great question.
Right in.
Whoa! That is hard-hitting journalism.
There was
Hard-hitting journalism, not ginger.
We on a roll today.
So I mean, Kariann's mental health journey, and especially through singing, was one that I think was a thing that she kept private at first. I didn't know how much she was struggling. And so we tried going to an audition one day, and that was the first time that I kind of saw what kind of like a breakdown was. And that was in 2019. That was like not that long ago. And realizing I'm a problem solver, and I like to make things, I like to get things in order. And so I mean, obviously, because I love her so much, that it was a thing. I was like, okay, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna figure out what this is. And when we started working through what are the roadblocks, and trying to pinpoint what those things were, it was interesting to me. I mean, I didn't expect Kariann right away to be like, I don't think that this is for me anymore. It was interesting that all of these things that kind of got her to feeling good and feeling who she was were the reasons why she wanted to go into this advocacy route that she's on now.
Yeah.
And so at first it was like, I would have never expected you to be like, I'm done singing, because it was so ingrained in who we were, being an artist, being a performer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that, right?
Yeah, and so when she made that decision, the first thing that crossed my mind, I was like, you're not doing this for me, like, so that I can perform. Like,
Right.
please don't stop singing so that way I can sing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
There's a-
worry about regret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it came externally too. I had folks coming up to me and being like, she's not singing anymore because of you.
Oh.
And so like, it's interesting because our business is no one else's business. Our
Exactly.
story it has nothing to do with you.
Right.
And so being able to, again, it made our communication stronger. It made our bond stronger. It made us be able to understand each other better.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of the work that Kariann is doing now. Like, we need 100 more Karianns to be able to do more in opera right now. And so like, I know you're out there. And also like, but kind of what I was saying before, like realizing that I also am one of those people
Yes.
that like, I am an advocate for the arts, not just for me.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the thing that I didn't realize for a really long time. So I'm just, I'm really proud of her.
I mean, I noticed specifically with you, and when did you actually move here?
Last July.
So,
My God.
yeah, it seems like last July.
Yeah.
I don't think I can recall, and I'm from here, and like I try to watch the landscape and see, what's happening. I can't really recall in my brain someone who's become so quickly connected in a genuine way and energized people. I really like who's actually come from out of town and been like, it's been pretty cool to watch, actually.
I
like,
love that.
She's a butterfly for sure.
I love
but like
You
in a
just be
really
floating.
good way, you know what I mean? Like we were
Yes.
saying when we were setting up and everything, how a lot of our close friends who are in our very small circle have connected with you, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's really,
And everybody
when I say
loves you.
impressive, I'm not trying to pat you on the back, but it really is impressive, like that you're able to just make an immediate impact in a positive way.
Well,
And and listen, if there was something negative to say, I'd have heard it by now, and I ain't heard
I
it.
would be like, Carrie,
Yeah, because we wouldn't have responded, you know what I'm saying? But like, nah, we ain't coming back, you know what I'm saying? So y'all, good luck with Delaware. Hope y'all sing good, She trash.
Oh my God. She trash. Well, I think there's like a hunger here for it. I think that I keep meeting people like you. Within 5 minutes of us talking,
Oh, we knew.
we had a
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people in Delaware are hungry for that connection, and Delaware has a bit of like a marketing problem. The people who live here
you're right.
don't think that it's great.
I think
And
it's
you
also
need
a genuine spirit. You don't. We have a lot of people who know things and know people and do things, but to meet a person like that with a genuine spirit, who is open and willing to create and cultivate and nurture relationships, you don't get that.
If a person is willing to go on Facebook Live
With J
And-
Street.
and tell you the story of how her husband, you know
was
she's
trying
a
to
real
snatch.
one. Like no one else is gonna give you that story. So that's how I gauge it. Like, oh, she went all the way in right from the rip. Okay, I know what this is. You know what I'm saying? She's not holding anything back. So, because that's where I scare people. It's like, wait, slow down, player. It's like,
Yeah. And
I get it.
she mentioned marketing. Something I realized recently in a few conversations me and Jay have been having over the last couple of weeks because of different things. I think the marketing issue is that people are so afraid to relinquish control. Like when there's an event or something happening, it's got to be my event, and I have to be the main, organization or business promoting it. So they forfeit their chance to really bring in the crowd.
I like how you phrase that.
Nah.
You forfeited your
I
chance
mean,
Yeah.
to
I
bring in the
don't
crowd.
want to brag.
But I am a master of geology.
That was really well stated.
No, it's so true. And honestly, I feel like you teed me up with that one because that's really where the micro gala idea came from.
Yeah.
Is that I think there is too much siloing of arts organizations, of we want to have all of this control,
Yep.
but all of the best creativity happens from collaboration. And so when we do these micro galas, it's always partnering with another restaurant, a winery, another arts organization. So it's that shared power, that shared vision.
Yeah.
And I love that. It takes pressure off of me. You know, I think that there are a lot of people in leadership positions who have like kind of a chokehold on their, they got like a grip on it, and you gotta like loosen up those hands. You gotta grab somebody else, you know.
Relax a little
Touch somebody, tell them you love them. You know what I mean?
Your knuckles is
Work
white.
with people.
Your knuckles is white, Delaware. Let it go.
Collaborate.
Yes.
You know, see what you bring to the table, see what someone else can bring to the table. You don't have to bring everything.
Yep.
Bring what you bring best. That's
Right.
another thing that I will tell you that I've realized since being in Delaware. I absolutely, in my other, in the other places that I've lived, have felt like I don't have enough to give everything that this place needs. I don't have enough to give. I'm not smart enough. I'm not blah blah blah. I'm done with that because of the partnerships that I've made in Delaware, because of the friendships that I've made.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be everything.
Right.
I'm trying to know everybody because everybody that I know is everything. I'm going to be in my lane.
Yep.
I know what I do best.
Yep.
I'm not going to step on J Street.
Yep.
I'm going to let Jay take us down that road, you know?
Yep.
And that's something that I think is really special about Delaware that people are, I hope, waking up to, because I've never seen it anywhere else.
It's funny because that's what I think I didn't realize how to communicate it until just now. Why I chose to call Jay to do Nash and Jay. You know, it was, I know what I can do, but I also know what I can't do. And
Roll
I
your
saw.
R's.
He didn't have to bring it up. He didn't have to call her out.
Hold my class.
Jason, hold my ass down.
I do
But
sprints for a reason.
That's really it. Like, I could have started a podcast about
Yes.
God knows what and just done it. But I was like, no, I feel the need. Like, I need somebody else to be there to be a part of this and build with someone.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, whatever I was smoking at the time, I decided it was you.
It worked. It worked. It did the trick.
But yes, collaboration is not going to hurt you. It helps you. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and especially in the arts.
Yeah.
I think that there's this idea of a right way and a wrong way to create art, especially in the classical arts. You know, there's an expectation of how you're supposed to be and what it's supposed to be. And I just think that if Mozart and Puccini were alive right now, they would be giving me Anna Nicole Smith the opera. They would be telling me stories that are like relevant and weird and interesting today. They would be doing January 6th the opera. I mean, they would be.
I mean, to your point, anyone who really knows operas, the stories are wild.
They're wild.
They are like a soap opera.
Yes.
Like they are scandalous
Telenovela.
and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. They're scandalous I mean, Rigoletto.
Exactly.
The censors
He's a
all
pig.
over this stuff. Yeah.
Censors wanted to block Rigoletto. They were so against it at the time, and I want people to like channel some of that. You know, it's interesting. There's this opera that we did, Trovatore, and the music is incredible. This beautiful Verdi opera, but there is a scene where a woman talks about throwing a baby in a fire, and it is bananas. It is absolutely bananas. And you're like, this is the most beautiful singing I've ever heard, and you read the translations, and you go, a baby?
In the fire?
Opera is wild. It's wild, and it's beautiful, and it's chaotic, and it's messy, and it's life.
Okay, I hope this is not a dumb question.
It could never be.
Is Hamilton an opera?
That's a great question.
Girl, don't do that for
Yes.
your husband.
Yeah, listen, husband, you take a walk, 'cause she gets it, she gets it. So I always say, I think that the arc of music history is long. I think the way that we describe periods of music history is long. And in 500 years, I think people are going to look back and say that Hamilton was one of the great American operas. It was one of the great things that contributed to the American opera lexicon. In the same way that things like Phantom of the Opera contributed to it, it's a gateway to show people, you know, in opera, what differentiates opera? It's typically sung straight through. Typically, we don't use any microphones, right? Those are the main things, and there's like a live orchestra. So Hamilton sung straight through, composed straight through with these thematic, like themes of music that you keep hearing throughout that show you this is Eliza's theme, this is Hamilton's theme music. You're gonna keep hearing this one, Aaron Burr. That happens in opera. That's called a leitmotif in opera. And so that is a touch point again to be able to explain to people, hey, you know, in Hamilton, how they have those themes, we do the same thing in opera. I want to give people that as a gateway to show them how to listen to it and how to appreciate it in the way that we do. Because we geek out about it. We go to operas, and I mean, I will throw my panties on the stage. Like, it is so exciting to watch these people do this, but that's because we know how to listen to it, and we're comfortable.
Yeah, I think it's in a lot of ways, this just jumped in my brain. I think in a lot of ways, it's like watching a jiu-jitsu match, because people who watch jiu-jitsu are like super into it, but they get it because they really understand all that's going on. And if you haven't watched it, if you don't get a little bit of education, you might, oh, that was pretty fantastic, but all of that in between stuff, it might not make as much sense. But the more you know about it, the more it's like, oh, you can dig in deeper once you really know what's going on.
And that's exactly what we're trying to engage with, is just that innate curiosity. Because if I meet someone who is super passionate about football, and they're passionate about it, and they want to tell me about it, and they want to include me in it, then I will be passionate about football. I want to be that for you for opera. Right? Like, I want to be the person, I want Dane to be the person, I want artists to be the people who are meeting you and saying, yeah, Hamilton is just like opera, let me tell you why. Phantom of the Opera is just like opera. You know, Beyonce did Carmen the Hip Hopper in 2001. Let's talk about the things that make us closer instead of pretending like we are so far above. We're so far above, we can't see that we're not relevant. We gotta be, we are for and of the people.
You know? Speaking of for and of the people.
Okay.
We have decided to show you what you could wear to the micro gala.
Let's start off by saying we didn't plan to dress like this tonight.
No, not at all. Literally.
To match
Stars
like
aligned.
this?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But like,
Pretty crazy.
is there a photo shoot happening immediately after this?
Pretty wild.
'Cause we are looking
we're about
correct.
to do something serious to y'all right now. So, I mean, why don't you all, so everyone hold tight and just hold tight and watch just watch what's about to happen here. Nobody go anywhere.
Don't go nowhere. I mean, we gonna go
We
somewhere.
can go somewhere real quick.
And I'm
Because
just
listen,
gonna be right here.
you're gonna turn and look at these micro galas, and we're gonna show you how.
Okay,
We
put
got
your
some
mic
looks.
right here.
No. Oh, you got to take the mic off. Okay, but that's fine. Put
This
that
gonna be
there.
a real ghetto
Yep.
kind of for
No.
the next 5
Bring me
seconds.
that one there. Right here. And I will put them all back on. Perfect.
Thank you.
This is going to be amazing. And in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to play some goofy stuff.
girly dress.
Hello.
Polka dots.
Also, don't get it twisted though, because she sure is in purple Converse sneakers.
Okay. Oh, those are Vans.
Oh, ooh.
Those are Vans, honey.
This is why I don't get
Off the
product
wall.
placement. This is all.
Oh my God.
I love these shoes, Vans. I love you. I'm a
Yes.
Van loyalist.
Listen, you're doing it.
But
You're
I'm
doing
here
the
for
thing.
I'm
Look
here
at
for
it.
a ball
Look at
gown
it.
from Forever 21. Don't get it twisted. This was
Okay.
a cheapy cheap.
Okay,
This was a
listen.
cheapy cheap.
Everyone can resume their seats. We can
No,
keep
we're
talking.
standing,
Oh, we're
so
gonna
we
keep
can
standing?
we can show the outfit.
Cool.
Listen, going to the opera, it's not about wearing the most expensive thing that you own. It's about wearing something that makes you feel and look dope. This little schmata that Dana's wearing, look at this. Get into this.
Schmatza, I never heard that.
Get into that.
Look at the
Here we are.
details on the shirt. See
Get
that?
close, you can get close too.
Look at
Whoa,
that.
I'm not.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm saying men, women, and children. I'm saying all people. I know you have something dope that you want to wear. I know you have something that you're proud of.
Let's talk about that
you
jacket.
love. Let's talk about that ascot.
baby. I got the ascot.
And this is a thrift store find from my best friend.
This is what I'm saying.
The bell?
Velvet. Gorge.
Is that velvet?
Thrifted belt.
The twirl, the belt, which matches the hair. I live. You gotta have fun. It's a chance to have fun. We've spent so long in sweatpants. Y'all remember that
Yes.
panty that we were just in? And you didn't wear nothing that made you happy. You were in gray sweatpants and joyless clothes all day. Put on something that makes you feel happy. Put on something that you want to twirl in and come to the opening night micro gala. There you go.
And when is the
Almost
date?
fell.
Opening night micro gala, October 27th at the Grand Opera House. Professionally run games of blackjack and poker with a $1,000 grand prize. Red
pretty
carpet
cool.
runway photo shoot, so you can show us how you dress to impress. We got complimentary glass of champagne. We have Italian food, and then we all go and we see this incredible opera together.
And it's Halloween weekend, so go hard.
Oh, please go hard on Halloween weekend.
Wear a mask.
Have fun.
Oh, that's actually really fantastic.
Have
I
fun.
missed that part.
That's
That's
what I
Let's
need.
go.
That's what I need with this dress.
We're gonna have some masquerade masks there for people to throw on, but truly, turn a look. I will give prizes. I need people to dress to the nines. I want you to feel so comfortable and so proud of yourself for the way that you're dressed at the micro gala.
Listen, I seen how y'all go to the Queen.
Wait a minute.
I seen how y'all go to Chelsea's.
Stop it.
All right, I've seen.
You calling out these people?
As someone who generally dresses like a bum, jeans and t-shirt all day, every day, I can truly appreciate, those times when I do kind of get gussied up.
Yes.
You get an instantly different response to you as a person.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it's good to be in that space,
Now,
Yeah.
I will say though, the rule at the opera is you dress how you want to be seen, right? You want people to look at you at the opera. I said this to my dad before he came to the opera, and my dad said, I want to be seen in my referee sweats. And so he wore sweatpants and a t-shirt and a baseball hat, and I wore this. And both are great and correct, because the most important thing is that you're comfortable in those seats in the audience. You feel like yourself. You're not pretending to be somebody else. Right? You're reacting when you want to react.
Right.
You're in your joy.
Yes.
And that's what it took for my dad. If I had asked him to wear an ascot, sharp as he would have looked, he would have been so uncomfortable, and he wouldn't have had fun, right? So I want you dressing in a way that you can have fun and feel free.
I love that.
I love that.
Jay,
I really
you ready
do.
to play us out?
Oh, sure. All right.
How do I end this so I can play us
Now,
out
you see?
properly?
You see? But I'm not gonna do that to you. All you gotta do is
Just
slide
roll your
the
R's.
cur-
Just
No.
roll your R's again.
All you gotta do
Ghetto.
is move the cursor to where it says stop. Literally stop. All right.
She's got it.
All right.
But
So he's gonna
Yes.
play. He's gonna play us out, and we're gonna do a once over,
Give you one more
and then
twirl.
yes.